T&C Surf Designs gave me one of my favorite skateboarding games on the NES, and one of the most confusing surfing games I've ever played. I couldn't beat that surf level as a kid, and coming back to it more than 30 years later, I had one question. Could I finally figure out what the hell this game wanted me to do? So is T&C Surf Designs Wood and Water Rage actually a good NES game? Or have my childhood memories been lying to me this whole time? Aloha, my name's Mike, I'm a Hawaiian gamer and a former US Navy Seabee turned storyteller in the gaming wasteland. So grab your surfboard and skateboard because we're about to hit the throttle into the gaming wasteland. Oh hell no! As a kid, I borrowed T&C Surf Designs from my friend Kevin, and I absolutely had a love-hate relationship with the game. I already knew about T&C because I loved those cartoon characters they had on their t-shirts. Kevin actually owned a few of those shirts, and man, I was jealous of them. Meanwhile, my mom usually bought me the bargain stuff from Goodwill, or the discount section at JCPenney. You know the shirts I'm talking about. Striped shirts, random colors. The kind of stuff where you're looking in the mirror thinking, Mom, seriously? Whenever Kevin spent the night at my house, T&C was one of the games I'd ask him to bring over. We had a blast with the skateboarding section, but the surfing, we hated it. Neither one of us could ever make it to the end. And all these years later, that was something I wanted to settle once and for all. Before we get into the gameplay, there's actually some real Hawaii history behind T&C. Town & Country Surf Designs was founded in Hawaii by Craig Sugahara in 1971 and grew from its surfing roots into the T&C brand a lot of us remember back from the day. For me though, it was those colorful cartoon characters that really stood out. They were the shirts, they were part of that whole T&C identity. And eventually they ended up on the Nintendo Entertainment System. T&C Surf Designs Wood and Water Rage arrived on the NES in the late 1980s. The game gives you 3 events: Street Skate Session, Big Wave Encounter, and Wood and Water Rage, which combines the skateboarding and surfing. And believe me, one of these sports is way better than the other. Alright, let's start with Street Skate Session, because this is easily my favorite part of the game. You can choose Joe Cool or Tiki Man, and both characters handled the same way. You move up and down, push right on the D-pad, or use the B button to speed up, and push left to slow yourself down. And here's my first piece of advice. Do not go flying through this thing at full speed. You're going to smash into everything. The A button makes you jump, but there's something I didn't understand right away. If you just press A, you jump, and you leave your skateboard sitting there. Instead, hold left and press A at the same time. You'll grab the skateboard when you jump. Learn that early. You'll thank me later. You're collecting coins, jumping over pits, avoiding oil slicks, and dodging frisbees. And apparently you can land on a turtle for 1,000 points. Sorry Leo, please forgive me. As a Hawaiian, I'm pretty sure using a turtle as a skateboard trick would be frowned upon, but hey, I guess it was okay on the NES. Once I understood the controls, the skateboarding became pretty easy. There's a really satisfying rhythm to knowing when to speed up, when to slow down, and when to jump. And that's exactly why Kevin and I had so much fun with this section. When you first start playing, you might think, there's no way I'm getting good at this, but give it some practice. Once everything clicks, you can start flying through these stages, and then we have Big Wave Encounter. Oh boy. The surfing controls are insane! You got this giant wave chasing you from the left, you've got obstacles coming at you, and somehow the game expects you to perform tricks for points? Dude, I'm not doing tricks, I'm trying to survive. You've got people floating around in your way. Apparently there's a shark somewhere in the game, and then there's a seagull. The bird apparently wakes up every morning with one goal: murder! The A button shifts your balance forward. The B button shifts it back. Sounds simple enough, right? Nope. for the longest time, I couldn't completely figure out what this game wanted from me. I'd wipe out, get swallowed by the wave, try again, wipe out, try again, and then something started happening. I was getting farther and farther until finally I made it to the end. After all these years, I finally beat that damn surfing section. Kevin, I did it, and then I did it again and again. By the time I was nearly finished capturing gameplay for this review, I was actually getting pretty good at it. So how did I do it? Was it skill? Was it practice? Was it the force? Was it dumb, blind luck? That's probably my biggest problem with the surfing section. You can eventually get better at it, but understanding why you're getting better isn't nearly as intuitive as the skateboarding. Visually though, I think T&C still looks great. I really like the 8-bit character sprites, and the game does a good job capturing the personality of the T&C artwork. The characters are colorful, they're recognizable, and the whole game has this bright surf and skate personality. Oh, the animation is fine for an NES game. Nothing groundbreaking, but it gets the job done. My problem isn't really what the game looks like, it's how little there is to look at. The environments repeat way too much. I would have loved different streets, different beaches, different locations as you progressed. Give me something that makes me feel like I'm actually going somewhere. Because once you've seen these environments, you've basically seen what the game has to offer. The soundtrack is okay, it fits the game, and thankfully they didn't decide that because T&C came from Hawaii. We needed non-stop 8-bit ukulele music. But I really wish the skateboarding and the surfing sections had their own music. The sound effects are actually more memorable to me. You've got the waves, the seagull, and my personal favorite. When you wipe out while skateboarding, you can practically hear your face scraping across the pavement. Really good stuff. And then you get that little death jingle letting you know, yup, you suck. Thanks, game. So what still works today? Definitely the skateboarding. Once you understand the controls, it's simple, responsive, and genuinely fun. And getting better at it feels rewarding because you actually understand what you're doing differently. The graphics work too because T&C has such a strong visual identity. The characters give this game personality. So what doesn't work? The surfing is much harder to understand. I eventually learned how to survive it, but someone playing this for the first time could easily wonder what they're doing wrong. And the biggest weakness of the entire game is the lack of variety. And here's where borrowing T&C from Kevin probably worked in my favor. Because if my mom had bought this for me for Christmas or my birthday at full price, I would have been pissed. Imagine opening your present, you see a brand new NES game, you're excited, you start playing, and then eventually you're sitting there thinking, wait, that's basically it? Compared with a lot of other NES games that gave you substantially more to see and do, T&C feels pretty weak sauce. It needed more levels, more environments, more hazards, something. Kevin and I enjoyed the hell out of the skateboarding, but even as kids, we both wish there was more games here. That's why T&C works best for me in short bursts, 10 or 15 minutes. Absolutely. Playing this all evening? No way. So does T&C Surf Designs Wood and Water Rage still hold up today? Part of it does. The skateboarding is still genuinely fun. Once you learn how it works, there's something satisfying about getting better and making it farther through the course. The surfing. I'm glad I finally conquered it, but it's still harder for me to recommend. Especially to someone picking up the game for the first time. And the lack of variety definitely makes T&C feel limited today. If you're into old school surf and skate culture, grew up with T&C, or remember these characters from back in the day, I think you're going to get more out of this than somebody who has absolutely no connection to the brand. As far as owning a physical copy, if you can find one for a good price, sure. I wouldn't spend a lot of money on it, but I would keep my copy. Hell yeah. The game is comfort food for me. It reminds me of being a kid. It reminds me of Kevin spending the night. It reminds me of wanting those T&C shirts while I was stuck wearing those damn striped shirts. And after all these years, Kid Mike finally got his revenge. That's why this cartridge isn't leaving my collection. Before I go, I want to give a special shout out to my Retro Warrior Knights. I'll have their names posted all over the place here. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. Now I want to hear from all of you. Did you play T&C Surf Designs back in the day? Did you enjoy it like I did? Or did you absolutely hate it? And if you've never played this game before, after seeing it today, would you consider adding it to your collection? Let me know in the comments down below. Take care everyone, and remember, gaming is your road to adventure. Is that a seagull I see? No, seagull, back off. Back off. Don't.